Hi, Stuart Barn here, and this is part 2 in this series of videos on rhythm guitar playing. In this video we're going to talk about applying bass lines to minor chords. Maybe the most important time to include a bass line is when you have a static chord. So what I mean is just a fixed chord. There are many songs out there where you might have just, say, an A minor, but the bass line is creating musical interest, so it might be going. So combined with the A minor, that gives us. Now, in the absence of a bass player, as I mentioned in the previous video, you've really got to include that bass line. Otherwise, maybe the most important part of the tune is missing. So that's one example. Just like with major chords, as I mentioned in the last video, sometimes you can choose to throw in a bass line that maybe it's optional, maybe the song is okay without it, but it'd be more interesting to include it. So I think I'm just going to talk straight away about bar chords because they are the most versatile. So here's a D minor, and just like with the last video we said major pentatonic notes are good options, easy options with major chords, so too are minor pentatonic notes for minor chords. So here's my D minor. Now I'm sure you know the D minor pentatonic scale in this area is this. Now, but we're particularly interested in the bass notes, so I'm just going to talk about these. Now, if I re-finger this D minor, instead of using my little finger here, use the third finger to cover both of the middle two strings, the D and the G string. That frees up my little finger, and that's very useful. So now I can potentially go and create a basic bass line that makes things a little more interesting. With my first finger I can also jump up to there. That's not very difficult. So now we've got, and these are all very good notes. Just realised I'm playing that note, which is not it's not in the minor pentatonic scale, but it is a very common option. Let me stick with minor pentatonic. So if my tune is doing this, I might choose to throw in a bass line that does this. And that works. It sounds good enough. It's more interesting than just strumming away the D minor. The A minor, same sort of thing, slightly restricted. You might want to do the same approach and free up the little finger. So now I can include that. And that makes it interesting enough. You can go beyond that, of course. You could try, yeah, something like that. Slightly more awkward because I'm having to use quite the wrong fingers. So my advice is find a tune that has minor bar chords in, ideally just minor bar chords I would say, and try and just clock up some time taking these approaches. Strum through your chords, but as much as possible shoehorn in a few bass notes to make it interesting. Although it might feel very forced in the beginning, it becomes much more natural after a while, and then you can start to use a bit of judgment about whether something is appropriate or tasteful. I hope you found it useful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. See you in the next video.